What's going on YouTube? This is yours truly, Dre the Plug, reporting live with some more technical heat. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button below. Make sure y'all hit that bell below so y'all can stay notified every single time I drop new technical heat. But let's get into it, man. Let's jump right back into these interviews. I just finished a whole bunch of sponsorship product videos, so definitely go check all of those out. Some of them I never even seen in person, so I thought it was really dope. And then on top of that, also did a couple of electronic projects, so definitely go check out those previous videos I did. But now I'm about to jump right back into my interview videos where I interview different people all across the country. Let's get into it. Roll the clip.
Hey, my name is Javante Allen. I am an electrical engineer. I work for a company called Bechtel Incorporation, and I went to the Prairie View A&M University. Right now, I am under the Department of Energy, working at a uranium process facility in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Prior to having this job, I used to work in Atlanta, Georgia at a big nuclear power plant. One of the biggest things that I got me into engineering was just the connection of people and getting to know different people along my way. And I'm very excited to see what the future has in hold for me.
All right, Javante, so why did you choose electrical engineering?
Man, I chose electrical engineering, man. When I was young, I saw my dad work on these cables, and he used to work for a company called Time Running Cable. And I think he brought me to one of his job sites. And just since then, man, I just wanted to be in the engineering field. Didn't know what part of engineering I wanted to get into. But as soon as I got older, middle school, high school, I figured out that I kind of wanted to get into the electrical side of it. You know, as a kid, man, everybody has that little cliche story. You break things and you want to try to fix them. That was one of my stories too, man. I used to break my PlayStations. I used to break my games and everything like that and wanted to fix them. So I just kind of knew I had some type of just mindset of wanting to fix certain things. I love mathematics. I love physics. And one of the best fields to get into was the engineering at the time. So that kind of made me want to get into the electrical engineering part.
All right, Javante, so what's something that you did not expect jumping into electrical engineering?
Man, what I didn't expect in engineering was just the people. Like, that really shocked me, man. Like, coming from where I came from, you know, everyone had to get by themselves in a way. And so when I went to Prairie View to be the major in engineering, I didn't expect the people that can help you along that way. One of the biggest things that got me into the career I'm in now is because of the folks that helped me. And so that's one thing I didn't expect at all, man. I'm thinking you had to do everything solo. You had to do everything by yourself. You had to be that engineer where you just had to be socially awkward, and that's not the case. And so my expectations for just the engineering part was, you know, you get to network and you get to meet different folks and different people, and that can broaden your career. So that was one of the biggest things that shocked me coming in to this field.
All right, so what do you feel is the biggest benefit when it comes down to being an electrical engineer?
Man, I think the biggest benefit for me, as far as being an electrical engineer, is just the networking and then the always learning. You're not gonna know everything being an electrical engineer. I haven't learned everything, man. So every day I've learned something new about being electrical. You know, when it comes to voltage, current, transformers, capacitors, switches, wiring, anything and everything you can learn from being an electrical engineer. And then on the flip side of that too, it's the networking part. I've learned how to, you know, be more sociable. I've learned how to be more, be more open to certain things. And I did not expect that. And I kind of benefit from being sociable. I'm in the position I'm in now because of what I can benefit from. So, but to be more technical, man, the electrical side, man, it's just you learn so much in the process. Every day you should be learning, man. If you're not learning at your job, in your career, then you're in the wrong field. You are in the wrong job, and you need to be doing something that benefits you and your mindset.
All right, jumping out of college, what was it like, you know, jumping into a nuclear plant role? I know like the plant life, when it comes down to engineering, it's always totally different. It's always a lot that's going on. So can you touch on like the whole process from you getting in Things that you liked, things that you didn't like. What was it like out there in Atlanta?
Man, the process was it was strict. Working at a nuclear plant in itself is huge, especially for a black man or black minority. So, but the process of it, man, from the training to you actually working on the nuclear plant was very, very strict. When I first got the call to go to Atlanta, the first thing I had to do was go through this 2-week training process. I had to make sure that I knew what I was doing, had to make sure that I understood the procedures and requirements in order to work at this place. My particular job was to be a field engineer. So I am a supervisor. I supervise people that build this nuclear plant. Just like someone who supervised someone who's building a house. That was my role, that was my position. I made sure that the guys built according to the schematics, the details, the blueprints, and the procedures. So being an engineer and being basically a QC inspector, my job was very, very seriously. And then you working in nuclear. And I know a lot of people heard about the Chernobyl nuclear explosion that happened back in the day. And we are trying to prevent that from happening 10 to 20 years from now. So for me and my process, man, it took a while to get the grasp of what nuclear power was. It took a minute to understand the requirements and the procedures. They take this job very, very seriously. And anybody can get into it. You just have to have that right mindset and believe that, you can actually get into it. Not a lot of black folks are in it. Not a lot of black men, not a lot of black women that's in this sector of engineering. So, but the process of it, man, the training was difficult. You working 12 hours a day, you working on weekends and on Sundays. So it just depends on if you're willing to do anything like that. And, the pay is good, of course. But as far as for what I did to get to that point, I had to sacrifice a lot of that time, study, and just, understand that what I'm doing is so important for the community and for our country.
All right, so what was the interview process like working at a nuclear plant?
The first interview, man, process was very easy. It was like a 30-minute interview, man. They wanted to see if you could socially, be acquitted for that job. So that was the easiest interview I had, man. But after that 30-minute interview, you had to go through drug tests. You had to go through screening tests and this and that. But the overall interview process to work at a nuclear plant is extremely, man. It takes about 3 or 4 months for them just to interview you. And, they ask you technical questions, of course. They ask you, what do you know and what do you don't know? And they are very strict when it comes to having someone work at a nuclear plant. So you really have to, sell yourself. You really have to let them guys know that you know the material that you need to be working on. But the interview process in itself, I would give it an 8 out of 10 as far as how hard it was, or just the questions they would ask. A lot of us coming out of school really don't have that much experience in that stuff. So I think a lot of college kids kind of has a fault because they don't have the certain work experience and get to these big jobs like that. But for me personally, man, I killed the interview, man. I think the first 2 months, they told me, man, you were on a good track to get into the position, and not a lot of people get that far. So it was more technical, man. It was more, can you calculate certain things? Can you, if this happens, what do you do? You're basically a QC engineer inspector. What do you do if this scenario happens? So it was more on, your personal character. And then on top of that, it was really on your technical background. That's really main what the nuclear plant interview would consist of.
Okay, Javante, so what was your day-by-day at the nuclear plant, and what's your day-by-day now?
Yeah, my day-by-day duties at the nuclear plant was, what we would do as the engineer goes, if there is a problem at the plant where something doesn't fit, it doesn't look right, they need clarification on schematics or details, my particular job was to interpret that information and give it to the guys that's building this nuclear plant. So for, let's say, on a random Wednesday, they would come to me and say, Javante, man, we need some help on setting this transformer. I go out there, I make sure the transformer is correct. It weighs the proper weight. It is the proper height. It has the electrical equipment that's inside of it. And so my really day-by-day duties was to make sure that these guys build this plant according to the drawings that we had. And that piggyback to the same thing I do today. Right now, I'm working for the DOE, which I have a government badge, and I am a government official employee with a secret clearance. So certain things I can't really talk about, but what I do is that I make sure that these guys are doing the job they need to be doing. I'm like the supervisor over these guys. And, and one thing can go wrong and a lot of things can happen. And so we try to prevent that. I try to prevent that from happening by just answering certain questions, by giving them the best solutions to whatever problems they may have. And just making sure that we are safe. That's the main priority, making sure everyone is safe. You want to go home to your family. I want to go home to my family. We have to make sure everything is safe and in accordance. So that was really my day-by-day duties. We on the same pages. We have these turnover meetings, these system meetings, and making sure that these big commodities are put into place safely.
All right, Javante, so for the people that do not know exactly what nuclear is in engineering, let them know exactly what you mean when you talk about the different roles that you got into as far as being in nuclear plants.
Yeah, man, a lot of folks don't know what nuclear is. The first thing people think is about, oh, you nuclear? Oh, you might turn into the Hulk. Oh, you might do experiments, nuclear. But a lot of people don't know what nuclear power is. And it's basically just a different type of power, different type of energy. And so with that being said, what I currently do now is that where I'm at, back in World War II, they had the Manhattan Project. And where I am stationed at is where the Manhattan Project kind of took place. So what I do is that we try to construct these buildings based off of nuclear weapons and nuclear energy. And, a lot of people don't know a lot about it because, it is kind of, hush-hush. But I always tell people, if you ever watch The Simpsons, think about what Homer Simpson was doing. That is something similar that, we do at a nuclear plant and something similar that we do here in Tennessee. Making sure everything is safe, everything is good. A lot of people get scared when they hear the word nuclear. They think of something, very catastrophic and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to keep everyone safe, and we're just trying to do the best we can to keep the energy clean. So, but just a long story short, when it comes to nuclear, I can get more technical in it, where fusion hits and reacts, and you have reactors, and you have different type of cooling towers and stuff like that. That's the cool things kids see today. But a lot of people don't know the meat and details of what nuclear is, or nuclear energy is. So my job is to construct buildings to hold certain nuclear waste, nuclear weapons, nuclear energy, nuclear dynamics.
All right, so if there's a viewer watching out there who's probably about to jump into their first year of college, they're about to be a freshman, what's something that you would tell them? What's some advice that you would give them in jumping into engineering? If you could go back, what would you change?
Man, a couple of things I would change jumping out is to be more open to traveling. The reason I'm in the positions now is because I've traveled, and I'm from Texas. From Rockford, everything. But traveling kind of got me the opportunity to get where I'm at now. And that's the biggest thing I would say consider, especially coming out of school, man. I know you want to be close to your family, you want to be close to your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever it is. But if you're willing to travel, even if you travel overseas, because these jobs will pay you and you will be doing cool and certain things and in your career, just think about that part. And then the second thing, networking. Networking was the biggest factor for me. I didn't get this job because of my skills. I got this job because I knew somebody who worked for my company, and they told me apply to this, and I did. And so that's the biggest thing I would say, especially coming out of school 22, 23 years old. Try to get as much information from your professors. That's your main source, your professors, and then your colleagues. And then if you have any family members or close friends that is in engineering, get cool with them because they can tell you things that you might want to know. Be open to traveling outside your state, open to traveling outside your city, and even outside the country if you need to. That would expose you to a lot of experiences doing things, man. At first, when I started out, man, I didn't want to leave Texas. I was stubborn. I did not want to leave Texas. I wanted to stay close to my moms and them. But then, like I said, the nuclear plant job called me, and I packed my bags and I left. And then now it's like, I love it. I love the world. I love the road, and I love just to meet different people from different parts of the country. And so, networking, willing to open up and travel, that's the biggest things I would suggest as a young person coming out of college.
All right, Javante, as we close it out, what's some last things that you would like the viewer to know about you before we just end it? And on top of that, before you end it, can you also give the people your contact information?
Hey, to get in contact with me, man, my Instagram handle is Peanut the King. It'll be Peanut _the _King. You can, if you follow Andre, if you're looking at Andre, you can probably find me through his Instagram followers. Also, my personal email will be Javante M. Allen. Will be JAV as in Victor, ONTE, M as in Michael, ALLEN @gmail.com. Javante M. Allen. You can ask me questions. If you have suggestions, if you want to get into this industry, the engineering part, if you want to get into nuclear, or if you want to get into just any advice, you can reach out to me, man. I'm open to discuss with you about anything. Also, just keep having those goals and those ambitions, especially if you're coming out of college. I know it may be discouraging, but if you have a goal and a mindset to do what you want to do, man, go for it. Nothing can stop you, man. Nothing can stop you but yourself. So just put in the effort, put in the time that you need to put in, and then I promise you that your time will be fulfilled. Keep your ambition, keep your goals going. For me, for example, I never wanted to get into nuclear plant. I never wanted to get into nuclear power. What I really wanted to get into was aerospace. Working with NASA, working with Boeing and stuff like that. That was one of my ambitions, and I think where I'm at right now is going to lead me up to that in my lifetime. So with that being said, man, sometimes you may take different routes to get to where you need to get to, but just understand that everything happens for a reason, and you're at right now where you at because it's for a reason. So just learn as much as you can, soak in as much information as you can, talk to your peers, talk to your elders, your professors, talk to people like Andre. He's doing it for the culture, man. He's doing it for the culture. And, people like him, people that's doing what he's doing for his YouTube channel and for his followers and everything, it's a blessing. We made it out, and we're willing to give back to our community and to the people that wants to get into this part of the industry, the engineering industry. So reach out to us, man. We're not here to bite. We're going here to help you and everything. Shout out to Mr. Andre Brown, man, for doing what he's doing.
And that concludes this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It really do help my channel when it comes down to the YouTube algorithm. If you guys have any questions regarding anything, just hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on the gram at DreThePlug123. And then also go check out my other YouTube channel. This is actually my second channel. My first one was called Andre ClassicCuts. I basically go in and give tutorials about all types of different haircuts. I actually show people how to do different type of things with the clippers that has never been done, and I pretty much go into detail as to why certain things happen. So definitely go check out that channel. Besides that, be on the lookout for my next content that's dropping. Be on the lookout for it because it's coming real soon. And I'm out.